What up YouTube, Jamie the Kid 00 here, and Dawn of the Xyz has finally hit Milton Keynes. After trailing around about 8 different shops at my local centre for about an hour and a half, myself and Team Rising finally came across a massive, basically all the shops have been out of stock of Dawn of the Xyz. We checked everywhere. And then we took a 15-minute walk down to Toys R Us, which is like on the outskirts of our city, and they've got tons of it. So we all retreat back to a friend of ours at Team Rising's house and build decks. So I'm here to, well, you know, cut into the chase here. I'm here to show you the deck that I built today. I bought 2 decks. So this deck is going to be built exclusively from cards from the new Dawn of the Xyz set. I'm going to explain why some of the new stuff is really good, some really good combos for making Dawn of the Xyz decks. But yeah, this is going to be a fun video. Don't expect any pro tournament tips just yet. Anyway, this is Utopia. We'll get back to him soon. I'm actually sorry about the glare, by the way. I'm actually having to use a new light because the new cards are so damn dark. It throws my camera out of whack. But yeah, onto the deck. First up, we've got the normal monsters. I ran 2 Gene Warped Warwolf. You get 1 in each deck. It's a brilliant 4-star for sticking to the field to get your Utopia out eventually. There's nothing more I can say about it because it's just a normal card. It's a very good one. The same goes for Spirit of the Harp. You get 1 in every deck. It's a brilliant 2000 defender, 4 stars. Great if you can get it to stick around the field for hope. Okay, that's it for normal monsters. Moving on to effect monsters. A member of Team Rising, this is his favourite card, Zubaba Knight. It is basically Drillroid, but only works on face-up defense position monsters. The moment it attacks it, destroy it without damage calculation. It was the perfect counter today for things like Spirit of the Harp and other defenders. It's a very good card. I'd definitely run it if you're doing a Dawn of the Xyz deck. Next up on my lineup, I had 2 Feedback Warriors. This is a brilliant card for getting out Grenosaurus, which saw a lot of play today. It's a very good rank 3 Exceed. I definitely recommend it. Coupled with that, I ran 2 Keyman the Key Warrior. A lot of people have been decrying this, but I found it very useful because it helped me to get out Gachi and also Grenosaurus in equal measure because it has the effect that lets it change its level from 2 to 3 until the end phase, or during my main phase, once per turn. It's a very good card. I thoroughly enjoyed using it. I would recommend using it. It could also be in Reinforced Truth, and again, you only get 1 of each of these in the star deck. Moving on, I ran 2 Tensions because of the because I needed another level 2 to accompany Keyman. Tension, I can't really give that much of a positive review because it's not an exceptionally good card. I ran it because I needed a second level 2, which I'll get to in a second. It gains 400 attack for every level 2 on the field. That includes itself, so its attack may as well be 1,200. Overall, it was a very good card, saw some consistent play, but it can't really sit on the field on its own. It needs to be accompanied. So it'd definitely be the second card that you use when making Gachi Genetsu or a similar card. Next up, I ran 2 Speedbird. This is why I ran 2 different types of level 2. This card, when it's destroyed by battle, lets me special summon 2 level 2s from my graveyard, and their effects are negated. It's a brilliant card because it then gets you the 2 level 2s needed for Gachi, which I ran quite a bit. Brilliant card in my opinion. Again, only 1 of each in the start deck. Moving on, here's some old classics. They've been reinvisited again. 2 Shining Angel. Again, you only get 1 of each in the start deck. It's a brilliant card for searching out stuff for your Utopias and for your Grenosaurus. My favourite combo for this was often my opponent only had 1 monster out, so I would summon it in face down defense position. He'd destroy it. I'd get a second one. By that time, I'd then have my opponent would be out of attacks with a bit of luck. I have no other way to destroy it. I'd summon another level 4 and overlay for Utopia. Brilliant cards. Moving on, my next card that I ran 1 of, you get actually 1 of each in the starter deck, but I only chose to run 1 of these, was my Searcher Field Commander Raz. This is really useful for getting stuff like Marauding Captains and Trident Warriors to the top of my deck, for use in the next turn to get me a big Xyz. Really useful in my opinion, but I wouldn't run 2. Next up, I run 2 Marauding Captain. Very good in use with Keyman the Key Warrior to get me a Grenosaurus. Pure and simple. It was a very good card throughout, very consistent. I thoroughly enjoyed running it. Moving on to another combo, which was really good for Utopia. 2 Trident Warriors, comboed with 2 Shine Knights. Trident Warrior's effect being, when it's summoned, you can special summon a level 4 or lower, level 3 exactly from your hand. Guess what Shine Knight is? Level 3. And when he's special summoned in defense mode, well, when he's in defense mode, his level becomes 4. So you would this was actually taught to me by a friend. I didn't come up with this one. I was too silly to. I completely missed it. Summon Trident Warrior, and then special that from your hand in defense. Overlay Utopia. Brilliant. Oh. Really useful combo. Again, you only get one of each of those aforementioned monsters in the deck. In fact, I don't think there are any doubles in this deck, so I'm going to stop saying that. Moving on to the spell and traps, I ran 2 Mystical Space Typhoons. I'm a big fan of the way they changed the wording on this, by the way. It now says target 1 spell trap on the field and destroy that card, instead of just destroy 1 spell trap on the field. They're simplifying the cards a lot. It now specifically states that this card is a targeting effect. So even the imbeciles of Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, I don't want to sound big-headed by saying that. It's foolproof now. Let's go with that. Next up, I ran a new card in the deck, 2 Harmonic Waves. You only get 1 of each in the deck. It's a brilliant card. Target 1 face-up monster on the field. Its level becomes 4 until the end phase. This could be useful in a synchro deck, in my opinion, for certain synchros. But for me, it was my favourite card for getting out of Utopia if I had 2 uneven level monsters. Very good card, in my opinion. Moving on, I ran 2 Blustering Winds. This is the Karakuri player's favourite, seeing as it has Shogun on the front of it. Its effect is quite simply, target 1 face-up monster you control. It gains 1000 attack and defense until my next standby phase. Brilliant card for keeping a monster on the field, in my opinion. I saw it comboed with Warwolf. I even saw it, I comboed it with Tension, because it made it stronger than my opponent's Gurensaurus, and kept it around for a while. It's a really useful card. Keeping with the ban list, I ran 1 Swords of Revealing Light. I would have run 2, of course, but it was a very useful card, very good in keeping my monsters on the field. I ran 1 Fissure, still an old favourite. I didn't want to run 2 because I thought it'd clog the deck, but this took out Utopia quite a few times, and it took out Gurensaurus quite a few times. I thoroughly enjoyed using it. I also used 1 Xyz Energy. I was a big fan of the similar card for synchroing. So this was an easy choice for me. I would thoroughly recommend running 1 if you're doing a Dawn of the Xyz pure deck. That's it for spells. Moving on to the trap lineup. I ran 1 Trap Hole, very effective in removing material that would have gone on to form an Xyz monster. I ran 1 Mirror Force, a good card to have back in the deck. It's great because it's now replaced the Mirror Force that I had stolen from me. I ran 2 Seven Tools of the Bandit, simply because Dark Bribe wasn't in here. It was a very good card in stopping my opponent's Mirror Forces, even though I tried to stop it, and then my 7 Tools got 7 Tools. But it was a very useful card. I'm glad to see it back in another deck. I ran 2 Reinforced Truth because of the amount of level 2 warrior monsters that I ran. It was a very consistent card, very good at getting me out Gachi Gachi Genetsu. But I thoroughly enjoyed using it. Simply because Call of the Haunted didn't make a comeback in this deck, I ran 2 Limit Reverse. Again, very useful in getting me out my low-level Exceeds, as well as getting me out Gurensaurus once or twice. I thought it was a really useful card. I would definitely recommend running it. That's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck, which is going to be pretty self-explanatory, seeing as limited in choice. I ran 2 Utopias. Brilliant card in my opinion. I'm loving the new Exceed system. In my opinion, I thought it was going to be quite difficult to Exceed summon at first, but this came out pretty consistently, pretty fast. It was very powerful. It's very hard to shift when it's on the field. It stays around for quite a while. I would really recommend running this in any deck. I also went on to run this in my X-Sabers later on, and this still got out with 2 double X-Saber Boggart Knights. It's a really useful card. I definitely recommend it. Another card I recommend at this point in time was Grenosaurus. I ran 2. It was a very useful card throughout, especially when I had lower level synchros lower level Xyz material available for me. I also ran this in my X-Sabers, which was very consistent. However, I would recommend later on in the when Generation Force comes out, I would recommend changing this for Leviath Dragon, or Revised Dragon in the Japanese. It was a very good card. The card which got a lot of negative reviews from myself and my friends was Gachi Gachi Genetsu. While it is a very good defender, I'm afraid it's not going to be consistent enough or reliable enough to stick around for very long in the main game, especially when Generation Force comes out. But it was a very good addition to the deck when we were playing kind of pure Dawn of the Xyz matchups. You know, cards only sourced from the starter deck. So overall, it was a very good card. But anyway, guys, that has been my review of the Dawn of the Xyz deck. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's Xyz summoning is really quite good. I would definitely recommend getting into it. So I definitely don't think that synchro summoning is going to be dead, but I think this is going to change the game system. There's not going to be so many useless combos anymore. If you get 2 level 4s in your hand, if you get 2 Kaizans at the start of your 6 Samurai game, you're going to get Utopia, whereas before it was a bit of a bum hand. So yeah, guys, this has been Jamie the Kid with Dawn of the XYZ. I hope you've enjoyed it. Talk to me in the comments bar if you've got any views on this that are different from my own or anything like that. Just talk to me about the Xyz deck, because I'm really liking it. Alright, like, comment, and subscribe, folks. I'll see you around. Have a good one. Bye-bye.